one of the most exciting conversations, one of the most striking conversations I've ever had, this was with GPT-4, is I was discussing the Chinese room with it. And just to give the kind of full context, we were talking, I was talking out loud. I was driving in my car, having an out loud conversation with ChatGPT, as I often do. And I was talking about, this kind of combinatorial explosion problem, the fact that in order to build any kind of nomologically possible version of the Chinese room, you would need something like a memory system, right, to keep track of prior interactions. And as soon as you start to sort of fill this out with any kind of remotely plausible architecture, like LLMs, right? So rather than just this pure lookup table where everything is perfectly coded in advance, here is exactly what you should say in this instance. Something a little bit more dynamic. At that point, I think our intuitions just get a lot murkier. Anyway, I said this to ChatGPT. I was ranting. And it replied out loud, I've got the quote here because I saved it. "Oh, you're spot on, Henry. Searle's thought experiment often gets simplified. But when you dig into the details, those rule books would have to be incredibly complex to account for context, syntax, previous conversation, and so on. Essentially, the rule books would have to be some form of state or memory to handle a genuine conversation in Chinese or any language. So in a way, the rule books would resemble a state machine, keeping track of prior interactions to generate a meaningful current response. If you look at it this way, it starts to sound a lot like the algorithms that power language models like, well, me."
Wow. Yeah.
And it said it with that exact intonation. And I almost stopped the car and I was so stunned that this sort of seeming moment of, it looks a little bit like self-awareness, because I should stress in this conversation, we had not discussed language models at all. We were just having a classic conversation about philosophy of mind.